Now, you will find, I hope you will find 3 items in your bag. So this one, it's a little chocolate box, that's as a giveaway. You can eat it right away or later on, that's up to you, or you can gift it to someone. And then we have these 2 products that we want to taste together. So the one is a small slab of a Free-Shokky milk chocolate with caramelized hazelnuts. And that's the first thing we're going to do. There's only one rule with this one. So you can take it out, and before you eat it, you have to open it and just smell the chocolate before you eat it. So that's the only thing I want you to do. If you did that, you can eat it. So take it out, make it open a little bit, and then you smell it. I like the noise of that, taking the chocolate out. And you will realize that is how good quality and fresh chocolate should smell. So you really get that full smell of chocolate. So I have little kids, and I try to teach them, before you eat the chocolate, please smell it. It's very important. I don't get that right yet. I'm not very successful, but if they grow older, I hope they will learn that. And then if you eat it, you realize also, and that's very important for me if I create new recipes, it's not only about the flavor itself, it's also about texture. So here you really have the nice melting chocolate, but you have it also in combination with the caramelized hazelnuts. You have that crunch, you have the different textures, and that's very important when we create new products. So I hope you enjoy it, but it's quite nice and quiet, so I think you like it. Thank you. And it's very important what kind of ingredients you use, obviously with the cocoa beans, but also let's take here the hazelnuts. These are hazelnuts from Piedmont. We only take the ones from Piedmont, Italy. And that's just, I always say that's the Ferrari from the hazelnuts. So it's the best you can get. And you still feel that, you taste it when you eat it, when you roast it, when you caramelize it. So very important. So when we go now through these curries, I want to go through the 5 senses that we use when we eat chocolate, because that's usually the way I say when we taste chocolate, let's just use all our 5 senses, then we can get the most experience out of it. So first would be the sight. If we take a piece of chocolate, let's grab the Brazil, the one in the middle, it doesn't matter which one you take. And then if you turn it around, you see how a good tempered and good stored chocolate should look like. So you have a semi-shiny, matte, shiny finish on top that has a very even color. So sometimes if a chocolate wasn't stored correctly, or during the production process something didn't go very well, then you will see you have gray stripes or dots on it. I'm sure you had that when you have a chocolate bar, you leave it in the sun and then it starts melting, you put it back into the fridge, and then later on you see, okay, it's gotten hard again, but you see some gray stripes on it. It's not looking very appealing anymore, but it's still, you can still eat it. It's not like mold or something like that. But it influences our eyes. So in Swiss German, my language, we say, das Auge isst mit, so our eyes are also eating. It's very important. By the way, this, if you have gray stripes on top, that's the cocoa butter from the chocolate that comes to the surface. So it doesn't look very appealing anymore. And if you eat it, usually the texture is not exactly the same anymore. But you can still eat it. It's not like that it's really bad. But that's how a chocolate should look like. So our eyes, very important for that. So every time I finish one, the side, you can just eat a piece of chocolate. We have enough to go through everything. Otherwise, you are still hungry at the end. That's not the aim. So, then the touch. Touch is for me something very special. Again, I take a piece like the Madagascar. Now, I love the texture of a chocolate when you touch it. So again, I take the back side, and then it's like a warm surface, not too cold, and it's not melting very quickly if it's a high-quality chocolate. And I like to do that. So maybe everyone, when you are back on Monday afternoon, you're a bit bored after so exciting days, you just sit on the couch, you relax, and you start massaging a piece of chocolate. Can be very inspiring, I tell you. So, a very interesting feeling. And here again, if during production or storing process, a supply chain, it wasn't done correctly. You sometimes get, also when you have like colored pralines, that you get very dirty fingers quite quickly. So that's again if it wasn't tempered correctly. So that's also a sign where you can detect whether everything went good with this chocolate or not. Next one would be the hearing. So how can we hear a chocolate? Does it talk to us, or how does that go exactly? No, it's when we break a chocolate, and it's a high quality chocolate. I explain you in a minute why. And a fresh chocolate should have a nice snap. So I like everyone take maybe the 80% Trinidad, and then we take it all together to our ears. Everyone must be very quiet then, and then we break it in half. And then we should hear a wonderful click, 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 click through the whole room here. So let's take that. Do you have it ready? Okay, so let's take it to our ears, and then we listen to the snap that we have. 1, 2. So really, you hear that beautiful snap through the whole room. So why is that? In Switzerland and in Europe, I guess here as well, there is a food law that says high-quality chocolate, also called couverture, must have a minimum cocoa content of 31%. Now, cocoa butter is actually the most expensive ingredients of the chocolate because you have the cocoa mass and you press it again. And it's an expensive ingredient that makes an expensive chocolate. If you have this couverture, and we, for example, only work with couverture, you have that cocoa butter that is a very high-quality fat and has this beautiful, nice snap. So next time when you have a bit of a cheaper chocolate, you try to break it as well, and you will realize there's a whole different kind of snap that you have. Also, if a chocolate gets older, you will have a different snap. So very important. Next one, second last, would be the smell. So we started with that. Now, the nose, you must know the nose is one of the most amazing instruments that we have, that God gave us. We can detect over 600 different flavors with our nose. It's very, very important and very cool for us. So in any food, we smell it before we eat it. And what I want to do with you now, so take maybe the Madagascar, by the way, my favorite dark chocolate of this box. And then everyone here, and that's for you content creator, very cool, everyone closes the nose with one hand, it looks amazing, and then you eat the chocolate, you bite on it, and while you are eating it, you open your nose up. And then you will realize you have really additional flavors that punch in, because we need our nose also when we have the chocolate already in our mouth. So let's do that. I'll take a piece of chocolate, we close our nose, eat the chocolate. And then now you shouldn't fail me, but yourself, actually. So you realize when you open the nose, then you really get this boost of flavors. And that's very interesting because we use the nose when we eat the chocolate as well. It's similar when you have when you have a flu, a cold, and then you eat something, you get the texture, but you don't get all the flavors out. That's exactly the same. So very important, the nose for us. And then, last but not least, the taste. So if we do like these serious tastings in our company and we rate the chocolates, we have some rules. So for example, you shouldn't drink coffee or smoke half an hour or an hour before you do the tasting. That really all your taste buds are ready for that experience. And then there are different theories, but I like the one, and I tried with the Madagascar. You take the piece of chocolate into your mouth, you bite on it 5, 6, 7 times, and then you just wait. You let it melt. You can detect, is it fine? Do we have some sandy texture, which is not really what we want? Does it melt quickly? What flavors are in there? What flavors come in the beginning? What flavors come a bit later? So it's like a tasting journey. So I encourage you with the middle one. So the Brazil, you put it in your mouth, you bite on it 5, 6, 7 times, and then you just wait and let it melt. Let's do that together. So I always love that you have these different flavors coming out at different moments when we taste. So in the beginning you have usually the rather fruity notes, and at the end it stays the chocolatey cocoa notes. So it's really a tasting journey that is an amazing experience. So we went through the 5 senses, and you realized also these percentages are usually quite close together, but you can still have a huge different chocolate. So for example, the Madagascar was 64%, a very fruity chocolate, fruity notes, and then you get the Brazil, only 70, so that's 6% more, not very much, but it's a very, very different chocolate because you have different beans in there, beans from Brazil. And that's what I enjoy, and usually if I get asked, what is your favorite chocolate? I say it depends on my mood. So sometimes I really just like a piece of hazelnut milk chocolate. I love it, this one. Sometimes I say I want to try, figure out different flavors from Grand Cru, single origin. So that's something I really, really enjoy. And I hope time is already up. I could give you some hints how to taste chocolate next time, that you get more out of the chocolate, and that you really can appreciate good chocolate. So thank you very much for tasting chocolate with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.